Today, the opposition, after a long period, almost 7 days, has now come out speaking. People were saying, where was Mark Golding? I told you all that the opposition would not challenge anything in any magisterial recount. Today, the opposition confirmed that they would not what? Challenge any of the decisions in a magisterial recount. They have an issue with West Central St. Andrew, which is the Prime Minister's constituency, with Paul Buchanan, which is reasonable. But you see, Jamaica, there is this reporter from Bradley Avenue or Revo TV that is called Chevron. Listen to what Chevron said today, Jamaica, and listen to the response from Dr. Dayton Campbell. Listen to it now. Is it there, producer?
It was important that we should await having reliable information before speaking to these issues.
Producer, the one where the nationwide reporter asked the question and Dr. Campbell...
If I may add something. If I may add something to that before the leader answers the next question. I think we've been very responsible as a party. I think we've been very responsible. Nationwide carried a story that Cafe said that 21% of the persons at the polling station at 5 o'clock were not allowed to vote. We could easily have created a stir with that to suggest that those persons would have voted for us and it would have changed the outcome of the elections. We didn't. We waited for good information, right? For additional information. And we have seen where over the last 2 days, the ECJ has refuted what was carried as to what Cafe had said. And then since that, Cafe today in the paper is clarifying that that did not actually take place. So I believe the comment that was made as well was not necessarily comparing the electoral systems in the two countries, but about the report that came out of the election. So I don't know how you got to the point of saying he was comparing the two electoral systems. He was speaking to the report that came out and said that there are similarities that we have seen the same thing here. Cafe, CARICOM and other OAS, other persons that came here would not have been out in the field to see that $100,000 was offered to an indoor agent not to work or offered to a cluster manager to give me the canvas of this party. They would not have seen that. They would not have seen what took place in the field. They would have been at the polling station, right? They would not have seen the night before that somebody was offered money to dip their finger in ink and therefore can't show up to the polling station. They would not have seen where we saw some persons, MPs, trying to separate people into lines as to who we are going to vote for. Totally inappropriate, right? From a high-ranking member of the Jamaica Labour Party. So the issues that we're bringing forward here are things that we have contemplated on, we've heard about, and not just anecdotal things, but things that we can say, these based on the reports that we've gotten. And there's additional work to do, but there is sufficient evidence to speak to it at this point to suggest that there was indeed an attempt to suppress the votes. Remember that we did run a campaign, where the last credible poll that came up before the election had us ahead by 3 percentage points, right? Not like the one from Nationwide that said we're 13 points behind. That was totally fraudulent, right? And if you look at the outcome of the elections, it was within 1%, as in the popular vote. So it was within that margin of error. And that is after all the suppression that took place by the Labour Party and the delayed voting by the ECJ that caused persons to leave the polling station and not being able to participate.
Now, Jamaica, I want you to listen to this, where this reporter from Nationwide.
So, Hilton, you put forward the suggestion comparing Jamaica's electoral process to that of Guyana, which has a history now of concerns about the process, whereas here in Jamaica, we had the OAS, CARICOM, as well as CAFE, all suggesting that the elections were free of harassment, free of intimidation, or any other irregularities, so far as going as to commending us in terms of our conduct here and to put forward Jamaica as a model that the Caribbean can follow. Isn't that a bit out of sorts in terms of that assessment by you in terms of irregularities?
The aspects, I don't think what you characterize as overstatement, notwithstanding anything that has been said by CAFE or any other organization that participated. The EU focus, and I urge you, and I think you have read the EU report, and if you have, then you'll see that they commented on some other aspects of it, much of which we saw in full force here in Jamaica. The issue that we believe needs to be addressed as an urgent matter is the whole issue of the advertising and promotion before and during the campaign with excessive state resources. And that aspect of it and others were specifically commented on. So my advice is that whatever the specific limitations or the concerns that the OAS or other monitoring group didn't address, the EU's report, I believe, was much broad-based and some of it very relevant to Jamaica.
Here is this one. I don't think it's in the studio. Listen to this.
You, Mr. Golding, your predecessors have all offered their resignations to the wider party following an election loss. Will you not do the same, or will you simply take up your post as opposition leader going into the parliament?
I want for us not to mislead the public with some of the statements. There are some things that are being said in the public space that are just not true. Andrew Holness was defeated by Portia Simpson Miller in 2011. It seems persons have forgotten that. He did not resign, nor did he offer any resignation. He stayed there. He did not even make public the appraisal committee report that was done. Right? 10 of the 21 MPs signed a no confidence in him. He's the one that saved himself with his casting vote. I also hear persons saying that it's historic, unprecedented, this third term. When they say one complain about the PNP being in office for 18 years, the PNP has won 4 consecutive elections in Jamaica. So what is historic? It's historic for the JLP that they've won 3 elections. It's not historic for Jamaica. PJ Patterson won in 93, 97, and 2002. Why do we continue to mislead the public in this vulgar manner?
Campbell. Thank you. Why should Mark Golding offer his resignation, Chevron Campbell? Why should Mark Jefferson Golding offer his resignation, Courtney?
Don't know why. I do nothing wrong. Chevron,
why your mother never resigned when there were just so much irregularities at Edna Manley College?
Passa.
When all of the irregularities started to happen at Edna Manley College, Chevron Campbell,
security.
Why did your mother not resign at Edna Manley College as the interim principal?
You don't remember that?
You don't remember, Chevron, with all of the irregularities happening at Edna Manley College? Why did your mother not resign?
Turmoil. You don't remember?
Golding should resign on what basis and what premise? The PNP never had a blowout defeat. Golding doubled the amount of seats he got in the election. So why then should Golding offer his resignation? In 2011, 2012, when Holness lost the election, half of the MPs over there had no confidence in Holness. I believe it's 10 or 11 of them, Courtney. Had no confidence in Holness.
Done with him.
Done with Andrew Holness. If there's if the opposition caucus of MPs don't want Mark Golding, they will let us know. Why should Mark offer his resignation? Are you aware, Jamaica, that Kamala Persad-Bissessar, after 3 terms, or 12 years, Kamala Persad-Bissessar stayed as opposition leader before she became Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago again?
Yeah, she's steadfast.
And the opposition caucus had their issues. The opposition caucus had their issues, the UNC and everything in Trinidad. But they steadfast and hold it together. And now Kamala Persad-Bissessar is now Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago again. So I want to ask, do you want Mark Golding to resign Jamaica? Or do you want Mark Golding to stay on as leader of the opposition? Do you want Mark Golding to resign Jamaica? Or do you want him to stay on as leader of the opposition? I don't see where there's a vacancy. I don't see anyone present in the PNP that can lead the PNP at this time. And the PNP does not need a challenge.
None at all.
The PNP does not need a challenge. And I see Cliff Hughes and Nationwide planting the stories about when people, wait name Courtney, when leaders lose, they must offer their resignation.
Yes.
Well, there is a vote of confidence amongst the other 27 MPs. There is no vacancy, Cliff Hughes. Unless you wanted to take up the vacancy, and the opposition don't need a frefre like you, Cliff Hughes or Siobhan Campbell. Siobhan, you look really bad. You stay really bad for a fat man. You need to be groomed for a fat man.
Humpty Dumpty.
Can you find a picture of Siobhan Campbell, producer? And let me talk to him. They need to understand everything you laugh, I know. Everything you laugh, I know.
Mostly.
Yeah, but you must know when it's a serious matter, and this is a serious matter now, Courtney.
Be serious. Find a picture, producer.
Siobhan Campbell. Image is everything. And particularly for media, image is everything. And you're very sloppy.
Very what?
Very sloppy.
Hard to look on.
You're very unpleasant to the eyes and to the ears. And when I look at you, I see ambits. And when I look at you, I see things that suggest that you potentially have traits like Marlon Morgan. And those traits are very unpleasant to the nose. So I'm asking you, Siobhan Campbell, when you're coming out, when you're going out,
Put yourself together.
put yourself together.
Please.
Trim down your beard. Try to find even a jacket or a blazer or something. Put your pants on your waist, because what we see you just like Humpty Dumpty. I just go down and a roll and a bubble.
Tumblebug.
Siobhan Campbell, it don't look good. You look like a sloppy walrus. Dress professionally as a journalist. I know the shorter clothes over Nationwide, you know. And Cliff, you should be able to buy some company shirts for him. But him not have the money, he might forgot beg Revo the money for buy some company shirts. Yeah. You know, like when you go to Courtney.
Excellent.
And when Ishmael go to the partner draw a TV shirt and people can know and buy the brand.
Yes. We feel proud of a shirt.
Come on now, man.
Stay tuned for more PDTV News evening highlights. Remember to show your support. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.